The Cowboys literally hold Mike McCarthy hostage for some unknown reason for an extra week.
Yeah, I think they were still trying to work out the deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
In good faith, no?
Yeah, maybe. But and then fall behind in the coaching search too. So it's just like every offseason where they're already starting from a leg behind. I can't with this team anymore. I really can't. They want to drive me even more insane than I already am.
I'm struggling to find ways to describe why I don't like Mike McCarthy with facts. And it's difficult because there was just like a contingent of people on the internet.
His offense is just so behind in time. So that's my problem with him. I know he can win, but
you don't think Dak went up a level under him, or half a level?
He did for sure. But you have to remember his rookie year, he was 13-3. So it's like Dak already did have a high level before Mike McCarthy got here. I don't know.
But wasn't that like Des Bryant? Got a Zeke in his prime, best offensive line that the NFL has ever seen in the last 15 years.
Yeah,
and Jason Witten.
I mean, yeah, it was. But
yeah, okay, just want to make sure.
I don't know, Mike McCarthy. Like I said, his offense is just it doesn't do it for me anymore. He thinks he's Andy Reid and he thinks he's his offensive guru, but he's just not. He's a regular season coach, and we all know how well we treat those in our Discord.
He's a regular season coach.
Well, unless you're Mike Tomlin,
happens to have a Super Bowl ring, though. I mean, but he does have a ring, though. I mean, he has a ring.
It's true,
and he did. If you take the Mike Marcangelo school of logic, and you just say like, just look at the numbers. We just have to look at this in a purely scientific and data driven way. There's a way to talk yourself into it, Mike McCarthy, no? Because like he took a Dallas Cowboys team. He was hired in January of 2020. You guys were coming off a 6-10 season. No, sorry, you were coming off an 8-8 season. An 8-8 season
under
you lamented
because right.
under Garrett again, and an 8-8 season you lamented because he three-peated 8-8 seasons back in the early 2010s, right? And then McCarthy comes in. He has one kind of rebuilding year, right, where he goes 6-10, and then he rattles off 3-12-5 seasons. And this season, I think we can give him a little bit of a mulligan because Dak got hurt, right? So, like, let's just not put that in the for or against column because his quarterback went down. So, like, we have to put an asterisk on that. But if you take the 3 seasons of 12 wins, admittedly, they did exactly what the Packers did in the playoffs most of the time under McCarthy, and in the regular season, which was win a bunch of fucking good games, like, have good quarterback play, not Aaron Rodgers level, but you know, Dak went up a level. He was improved. He was developed, and I think McCarthy does have a track record for that. And then you look at it, and it's like, is it a Cowboys problem? You know, like I don't know, because it's like who are you gonna bring in now at this point? Because the things you're looking at, it's like Deion Sanders. Okay, great. I mean, I love it because it's gonna be hilarious. But like
that's honestly, fuck it. Deion Sanders, I'll take it. Because right. You know what I mean? At this point, dude, it's just such a shit show in Dallas at this point that I'm just down to make it as big of a shit show as possible. So fuck it. Bring Deion Sanders in.
Good for you.
Yeah, bring Deion Sanders in. Let's spice up my life. Let's spice up the life of the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL. You know what I mean? It would make for such good content, and it would make for such good times in the NFL if Deion Sanders was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
But he's only going to go coach the NFL to coach his son. So then Jerry has to figure out how to get Shedeur as the quarterback.
How do you know that? How do you know that that's true?
Deion said it. Like he said he literally said it in an interview last week.
But then the Dallas Cowboys came.
Such a circus, dude.
Yeah, and the Cowboys came and knocking. So who knows?
I mean, Troy Aikman said that job's going to suck. I mean.
As soon as when he started saying that, I was like, "This is going to be a big deal. They're going to make a big deal out of this one." Troy Aikman's just shitting all over the Cowboys on national television.
I mean, Troy's tired, man. I think you are too. I was just talking to Leah about what makes a good like commentary duo, you know. And I think that we were going through a real transitionary period over the last couple of years. Like none of us were happy about Al Michaels getting shipped off to Prime on like Thursday nights. Like everybody was mad about that. But Buck and Aikman have really have
Buckman?
really like
I
got Buckman, the Buckman team. They really have the chemistry down because like as long as you just have like you just need like 2% sexual tension between the two male commentators, you know, just like 2 to 3% where it's like, will they, won't they? Just a little where you don't think so. But like, if you were told it happened, you wouldn't be like super surprised, like British boarding school style, you know? And I'm just like, and they just bounce off each other really well. Like I like Troy Aikman as a commentator. I'm really coming around to those guys. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be news, but the Dallas Cowboys consistently put themselves in this position, don't they? Like they consistently put themselves in the headlines, and the headlines, even if they're not overtly negative, they're lacking of substance. You know, like the things that Jerry Jones is saying is lacking in definitive substance because he's doing a lot of fucking talking. You know, like Jerry Jones won't get out of Jerry Jones's way. He won't shut the fuck up. You know, he's on radio shows threatening jobs, giving you insight into what this guy is like to work with. You know, like he's just out going around threatening livelihoods like everywhere he goes and like screaming at little black children, preventing them from getting into school. I just don't think the Cowboys had a Mike McCarthy problem, I guess is my whole point. I think they might have, but I think that you can't see that for sure unless you address the very massive Jerry Jones problem. I think that that's obvious. And I know it's a hard pill to swallow because I'm in the same boat, Bob. Like I'm in the same exact boat. Like we have a McCaskey issue. And this, I'm on record with you guys about this impassionedly. We have a McCaskey issue. You guys have a Jones issue. Your issue is with the Welsh. And I just don't, I want to know what you see. Yes, great. I love your positivity and your attitude about like what that circus would be like. And you know what? Maybe there's the outside chance it works because at least they did something different, did something crazy. It's you know, doing something different, doing something crazy, being Mavericks. You know, I've seen Top Gun and Top Gun 2. So it's just, you know, sometimes it works out if you play a little dangerous, but realistically, do you not see that like the biggest obstacle to the future success of the Dallas Cowboys is the man who holds them in his pocket?
Of course, he's the issue. He's the number one issue.
But there's nothing you can do about it.
Right? There's literally not a goddamn thing you can do about it until he dies. That's the only thing that can happen. If Jerry Jones dies of old age. But
can we prove that he's alive still? Have you seen him?
No.
Yeah, can we definitively have a doctor say that he's definitely alive? Like he might be just getting weekend at Bernie's, like around the campus in Dallas at this point by his nephews. I don't know. Mike, what do you think? If you're a Cowboys fan, try to put yourself in Bobby's shoes. Yeah, you know, you were adamantly defending Mike McCarthy for very good reason. You know, just when you look at the data,
I couldn't believe that you were coming to his defense either. I couldn't believe it.
Well, first of all, I turned DK into a Mike McCarthy fan because of how hard I was railing against Mike Tomlin. So that's what happened.
Can I just say, how I feel about him is still definitively he would not be my first choice for Chicago. I mean, I think that's what I was trying to say is like there's a lot of reasons, and I did say at the top of our fun back and forth the other morning, that, you know, the Packers issue is sort of a thing I can't really get around, you know, and I admit that like I'm going to look at Mike McCarthy through a Packers lens, right? If I move that lens to a different place, I can look at it like it's a little bit of a middle finger to the Packers if he comes here and succeeds. And because this is what you do, you start talking yourself into this shit. Because what happens is I get scared that the Bears, knowing them, are going to do the worst thing. Right? Like they're going to do the dumbest thing. Like they're going to go hire the Dolphins defensive coordinator, you know, because like he's on the interview list. So I'm like, did anyone look at the Dolphins this year and go like, man, who's that DC? He's doing new and crazy and exciting things. Like, no. So, you know, if we make another Eberflus signing, that's worse objectively than if we hire a competent head coach in Mike McCarthy, a guy who will go and get us a lot of regular season wins, a feeling I haven't experienced in many years. So I have to be reasonable, right? But that doesn't make him my number one choice. And if you ask me, and honestly, to pick between Tomlin and McCarthy, as you proved, Mike, the data is essentially the same, right? Like the data is like they're sort of like neck and neck. So I'd have to go on the eye test and the likability test.
Well, McCarthy has more playoff wins.
By one. So I mean, you know, the wind goes in a different direction one time.
Wait,
it's like
whatever.
I
thought Tomlin's 8-10. Yeah, McCarthy's 11-11.
I thought it was 8 and 10. I thought it was 8 and 10. I thought it was 8. Either way,
8 wins,
3.
10 losses.
That's good. You mean overall? I think the data I was looking at was over the last X amount, because that's what everyone keeps talking about with McCarthy, because he's got 0. So I think in a lot of the last few years, it's probably the last 7 or something, McCarthy has 1.
Yeah,
and
we got
none.
one. We got one. Yeah, we got one over.
Yeah, you guys got one. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's what I was thinking of. But yeah, fair fucks to you on that point. But I still think we're kind of we're in a what have you done for me lately situation. And if you're going to bring up that the issue with Tomlin is the recency of his losses, then you have to sort of look at the data set like that. And I think if you really asked me, and I think if you asked you, like, would you actually pick McCarthy? If you were me, if you were a Bears fan, would you pick McCarthy over Tomlin?
So if I was you, a Bears fan, no. But you asked me, like, what should I do? Like,
because it fit too, though, right?
If I was a Cowboys fan, what I would do. I'd be a surprise for you. I would do whatever I could as Jerry Jones to trade for Mike Tomlin to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Like, that's what you should do.
Do you think
this
that's
isn't
a fit?
an indictment on?
Do you think that's a fit?
Yeah,
that doesn't work in my head.
So in my opinion, like, I think I'm getting. We're catching a lot of heat here for Tomlin. I don't think he's a bad coach. I think he's just like Andy Reid in Philly. He needs to change his scenery.
He definitely needs to change his scenery. I do. He could have a run.
He could have a run in him. But like, I think you need a guy like Tomlin who will suck up all the oxygen in the room, and he'll make Jerry Jones irrelevant for interviews. That might piss Jerry off, but like, that it's going, like, to your point.
That's my issue. Is the fit between those two guys. Like, I don't know if that works.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it either.
I'm trying to picture it in my head.
You should want it, but otherwise, like,
you absolutely should want it. I mean, if you're a Cowboys fan, you should want Mike Tomlin if that's an option.
Go get Joe Brady. Go get the OC from Buffalo. Make him your head coach.
It's probably the route that they're going to go. They're going to go a route of some guy that's going to bend over to Jerry, and not want.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have the clout. He's going to have to. If you hire an OC, that's what's going to happen, right? Like, there's going to be some friction. What if you hire a guy? I mean, of Vrabel, like, again, like the guy the Patriots went and got. Like, I think that would have been a great hire in Dallas. But also, so would have Bill Belichick circa 12 months ago. Yeah, I know. I mean, I was really sure. I don't know why, but I just had it in my head that he was going to go get Bill last offseason. I really thought it. And then I was really sure he was just going to stay on with McCarthy, because I didn't think he was going to do that last year. You know, I think I like just the way that everything looked, I thought that they were going to move on, and then they didn't. So like, Jerry's just a little behind.
Total Cowboys fashion to deny the Bears the opportunity to talk to Mike McCarthy, and then let him go 4 days later. Like, what an asshole. What an absolute asshole he is.
Yeah, that is probably some asshole. Maybe they were trying to get the deal done.
But he would be your best head coach since Lovie Smith, Dave. Like, in all seriousness,
but that's the problem. I mean, I think I'm operating from a completely different place from the two of you guys, because, Patriots success, obvious, like the levels that you've seen Bill Belichick take your team is probably never going to be seen again in our lifetimes. The Cowboys, I mean, they're a successful team. Like, they're the most popular franchise. They're the most followed, most fan supported team in the NFL. They're America's team. They win a lot of games. Like, they always have really good players. They have the best stadium. They have the best facilities. They have you want to go play in Dallas. You want to go be a Dallas Cowboy. There's something about it, right? There's something real 1970s fucking, piss and vinegar and fucking chewing tobacco about being a Dallas Cowboy, right? They've had all-time greats. Like, this is a thing. And I'm not saying the Bears don't have a history, but you guys, the Cowboys just rattle off 3-12-5 seasons. And where their fan base is we need to see a guy come in and win in the playoffs. If somebody came in at my team and rattled off 3-12-5 seasons and developed Caleb Williams, I'm fucking over the moon. And we go out in the first or second round of the playoffs in each of those 3 years, I'm fine. I'm having a great time across those 12 wins. I'm riding that fucking pony all the way home. So, it's about sort of where your level is at. Like, what I need triage. Like, my soul needs to be sutured with a fucking medical kit. I need somebody to make sure I don't bleed out and die on the floor as a Bears fan. You guys are looking to remodel your kitchens. Like, this is a different. We're sort of in a different phase.
A guy that's been proven to groom and mold a quarterback and elevate them.
Groom's an interesting word, but sure.
McCarthy did that with Aaron Rodgers. He elevated Dak Prescott, so why not?
Yep.